Pepper Street has not utilized any kind of traditional methods to even market the product or to manufacture a product. Of course, Pepper Street is a brand that was established in 2020. We're just 4 years old. But if you see the digital landscape, Pepper Street is in the market and is booming only because we've only utilized the technological side of the marketing for our retail brand. But we are trying to introduce stuff like AI, stuff like AR. Recently, we tried to have an AI model for our photo shoots. And at the same time, we listen to our community and we listen to our customers. We try to understand what they need. We try to understand what they would want to wear maybe next month or the month after.
Hello, welcome back to TechVerse, where we talk about innovation and technology that shape our futures. On this episode, we will talk about an industry that touches everyone, and that is fashion. From the manufacturing process to the retailing process and everything in between, this is an episode where we talk about all things tech and fashion. Today we are joined by the Managing Director of Pepper Street, as well as the founder behind Yarn Clothing, which is responsible for many of these outfits and attires that we wear in the current market. Hi, Dilen.
Hi, Dasani.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you.
Same here.
I'll start off with keeping the conversation a little relaxed and chill. Pepper Street is a very well-known and a very well-loved brand. What is the secret to the success?
Actually, Dasani, I was thinking about it even last night, right? I was wondering how Pepper Street has become what it is today. And most of the time, what I would say why Pepper Street is here today is only because of the community that we have built ever since the beginning of the brand. 4 years ago, when people didn't even know what Pepper Street was, what we really wanted to give to the community, give back to the community, is by getting them involved in fashion.
Right.
And if you've noticed, like most of our drops, most of our launches revolve around the community that we have.
I was just about to get to that, Pepper Street is quite fashion forward when it comes to these drops, these new launches, new styles. Do you predict these trends, or do you have an in-house secret team that kind of spots these trends,
To be honest with you, we don't have a secret team, but we have a brilliant team that I would always thank every single time, because we don't have specific brainstorming sessions or whatever, but we have fun, developing new products, coming up with new trends.
Right.
And since we are in the industry, and the main company that Pepper Street is owned by, which is Yarn Clothing, is also always in the industry and always developing and innovating, we have the capability to think a little bit ahead of time, I feel like. And at the same time, we listen to our community and we listen to our customers. We try to understand what they need. We try to understand what they would want to wear.
Right.
Maybe next month or the month after. And then we come up with certain styles and trends that are trending even around the world, right? So most importantly, I feel like all these factors have contributed to answer your previous question.
Yes.
All these factors together have contributed for Pepper Street to get to where it is today, which at the same time, we do have a long way to go. But I feel like why Pepper Street is where it is today is because of how we stay ahead of the time in terms of trend analysis and spotting new trends, and at the same time giving back to our community. If you've seen on a Black Friday or on a normal sale day, we have thousands of people in a queue, and we think, okay, why do you want to stay in a queue to purchase a product? And the only reasoning behind that is the fact that we've created the value of the product behind the scenes, and at the same time we've created value by giving back to the community and by valuing people who are purchasing from us and not valuing the product itself.
Because, Dilen, you mentioned behind the scenes, I think that's when yarn clothing kind of comes into play. It is a huge player in Sri Lanka's local apparel market.
That's true.
Can you sort of give us or our audience a bit of an insight as to what yarn clothing really does and what it really stands for?
Okay, I'm sure a lot of people don't know about this, but Yarn Clothing is a company that manufactures for most of the brands in the local market.
Right.
I'm 100% sure that you have something that we've stitched, which might not be Pepper Street as well at the same time.
Okay.
Right? But mostly what I want to say here is that anyone in this country has the capability to start a fashion brand. And there is so much space in the market for anyone to come in and offer an innovative product.
Right.
And what Yarn Clothing does is facilitate that process and give them the capability and the strength to get their products into the market in terms of manufacturing.
Just adding on to that, if I was somebody who wanted to start my own fashion line, how would Yarn Clothing help me?
Brilliant question. What Yarn Clothing would do is ask you what you want to sell and then give you that product. It's simple as that.
Right.
I mean, it might sound easier than, said than done, easier said than done, but still, Yarn Clothing takes care of every single part of the process in terms of from development to sourcing to manufacturing to get you the final product to your hands. And then after that, you just have to sell, right? So that is what Yarn Clothing offers.
Wonderful. It's good to know.
Do you want to start your own brand?
I'm considering. Maybe I will.
Competitor right here.
This has been a pretty relaxing conversation.
It was.
Also, a little birdie told me that apart from your passion for fashion...
Seems like you've been stalking me.
I absolutely have not been. So there's also another little interest of yours, and that is coffee. Am I right?
Oh yes, that's true. I've grown to love coffee.
Really?
I feel like it's probably because of the work that I'm in. Like, it's this whole entrepreneurial, hustle, grind, those kind of stuff. I feel like coffee has played a major role in my life in terms of even my work ethic. Even up to date, like I spend an hour or two at my favorite cafe early in the morning.
Lovely.
Having my favorite coffee.
Amazing.
And, I feel like any aspiring entrepreneur should have something that they can love apart from work.
And for you, that's coffee.
And for me, that's coffee.
Excellent.
And I go to the point where I check the flavor, I learn how it is made, and, all kinds of stuff like that. Just so that you can give a little bit of time of your day for something else so that you can have that peace of mind.
Right.
The moment I think of coffee, I think of peace. So because of that,
Lovely.
which is why I love coffee so much.
Good to know. So, Dilen, the manufacturing space in fashion is ever evolving, from artificial intelligence to the latest machinery used for production. What are some of these new technologies that Pepper Street is using?
Good question, Dasani. To be completely honest with you, Pepper Street has not utilized any kind of traditional methods to even market the product or to manufacture a product at the moment.
Right.
And we are always forever evolving, and we are looking for new technological advancements that we can make to the brand. And of course, Pepper Street is a brand that was established in 2020. We're just 4 years old. But if you see the digital landscape, Pepper Street is currently in the market and is booming only because we've only utilized the technological side of the marketing for our retail brand. And in terms of retail, mostly the technological advancements that we are trying to do, I wouldn't say that we are still there. There are so many things that we can do to develop the brand, but we are trying to introduce stuff like AI, stuff like AR, and at the same time, recently we even looked at introducing. We tried to have an AI model for our photo shoots, right?
I will add to that.
Yes.
Add to your answer in a question form.
All right.
Because we asked about the manufacturing process, now shifting to the retail process of things. Of course, a lot of these consumers are now aware, like you mentioned, augmented reality to virtual fitting rooms to customization. In terms of that retail point of view, what are these trends that you can predict?
So in terms of trends, Dasuni, I can predict so many when you take technology. But in terms of trends that will attract us and that will be beneficial for us is mostly revolving around getting our community engaged and engaged with us, with our team, so that we want to mostly let our customers know that Pepper Street is them. And they are a part of the brand. And how we are planning on doing that is by introducing new ways that they can be involved with the brand and new ways that they can purchase and the new ways that they can, even stuff like AR to show them the product, like 3D products, like when they go on our website for them to be able to see the product on a 3D landscape, like where they can just rotate around it,
rotation,
a 360 rotation kind of thing. And at the same time, we are trying to introduce a more feasible way of even deliveries and even customer service. Like we're trying to utilize AI to support customer service as well. So the responses will be faster. And if we do have anyone who is disappointed with our, services, we can obviously give them a better service by introducing AI to the picture.
If you were to predict a few trends that might sort of take over this retail space in the next few years, what would they be, and how is yarn clothing as well as Pepper Street gearing up for this change?
Another good question again. In terms of yarn clothing, since yarn clothing is a manufacturer, apart from the manufacturing part, everything else is going to turn into technology. From the development of the product to forecasting trends to, getting the product to the customer's hand, we work with technology. And even right now, like we use special softwares to develop the product. Like if there is a trend and we realize that this trend is going to be in Sri Lanka in the next 3 to 4 months, we get those products down. We use software to make those patterns. And I'm not going to mention a lot of technical names, but make those patterns and get the product to become what it is to be able to be launched. And recently we are even trying to get mannequins that is AI powered, so that we can, when we try the product on, like the mannequin will adjust depending on what the size of the the customer is, or like based on the size chart. So we are trying to do all those kinds of stuff in terms of staying ahead of the trend. But of course, another note to it, there's so many things that could be done at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, we're shifting the gears a little bit, Dilen. We're moving into the rapid fire round, and you will be answering these questions while playing pool.
Brilliant.
Ready?
Let's do this.
Okay. What is your favorite fashion trend right now?
I think I like the Cuban shirt and the pants set.
I also heard that you were a baseball player.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, if you were to bring in any trick or rule from baseball into your business, what would it be?
I feel like it's definitely your mindset.
Dress shoes or sneakers?
Sneakers, always.
Oversized shirts or polo shirts?
Good question, but polos, always.
If you were to incorporate any futuristic technology into Pepper Street, what would it be?
It would be AR with the Apple Vision Pro. I would want people to shop in our store from home.
An app you cannot live without, or a gadget, in that case.
That's a good question. I feel like I can't live without the Notes app.
Interesting. Tea or coffee?
Coffee for sure. That's not even a question.
No brainer
We established that before.
Absolutely, yes. Who is your favorite fashion designer?
It's Virgil Abloh, for sure.
If you were to collaborate with any tech company, who would it be?
Facebook? Actually, Meta.
Right. What's one song that best describes Pepper Street?
It's definitely the party rock anthem.
Okay. And my final question, it's a bit of a thinker. If you were to give some gracious advice to anyone who's tuned in right now, who is also considering to step into this fashion industry, what would it be?
Good question. To be honest, I would say that being an entrepreneur in general is not easy. And it requires a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of consistency in terms of being an entrepreneur. But in terms of the fashion industry, just like you asked, Dasuni, the most important factor, if you want to get to a successful place, is to be consistent.
Right.
And it's not that we have been doing this for 2 or 3 months or 6 months. We've been doing this for years. And it's been 7 years since we got into the industry.
Right.
And if you think that you are capable of doing it in a couple of months, it's a lie. And I feel like personally, the most important factor in terms of becoming a successful entrepreneur, not just in Sri Lanka, but even if you're anywhere in the world,
right,
is consistency. And if you are consistent in what you do, if you get up every day in the morning and run at your vision, you will be successful. You will be up there in no time. And when I say no time, it'll take a little bit of time, but it depends on how much effort and how much resources you collect along the way. So yeah, that's basically it.
Thank you very much. I'd like to take a moment to thank our lovely sponsors for making all of these episodes possible. Orel IT, our tech partner, and Colombo Coffee Company, our beverage partner. Dilen, thank you so much for joining us. It was a really good conversation to understand how fashion is ever evolving, vibrant and bright, just like all that you do for the fashion industry.
It's a pleasure, Dasuni. I mean, I had the opportunity to learn so many things from your team as well. So thank you so much for having me as well.
Before you leave, we've got a few gifts lined up for you. So I'm going to start with something that you absolutely love. Earlier on in our conversation, you mentioned that you are a huge coffee lover. Yeah.
So this is coffee?
Yes, this is from Colombo Coffee
It's
Company.
like you all planned. It's like you all stalked me and know that I like coffee.
Maybe we did. No, we did not. Here we go.
Thank you so much.
This is for
Thank you. It means a lot.
We also have another exciting gift. This is from everyone at TechVerse, all of us.
Okay, that's
interesting. This is a terrarium. So this is something that will live on forever.
Wow.
And it's a self-sustaining
Just like
plant.
Pepper Street.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Dilen, we also have a coffee mug for you to sign. So if you could do me the honors.
Oh, I feel like a celebrity. But can't I like use it to drink the coffee that I just got?
We'll give you another mug.
I'm just playing.
We'll give you another one.
All right. It's done.
Thank you.
So Dasuni, I was just thinking, Christmas is coming up, and I was thinking whether I could give you something from Pepper Street for you to wear for the next time.
Oh, absolutely. I would love that.
That's brilliant.
Thank you so much.
I'll do that for sure. I'll do that for sure.
Looking forward for that. To our listeners, if you loved this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and stay connected with us on our social media platforms. TechVerse is your ultimate guide to tech innovation, and we are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, as well as YouTube Podcasts. Until next time, keep searching for the transformative power of technology. TechVerse, fueling your tech curiosity.